All right, welcome to 2025 NFL playoffs, guys. It's technically 2026, but it's the 2025 regular season. I've always confused that, by the way, guys, because it's like, who won the Super Bowl in 2020? Well, it depends. Do you go on the regular season? It's always so confusing to do that. But anyway, what we're going to be doing here is we're not previewing the games yet. We'll do that later in the week, but we want to get predictions. We're going to fill out a bracket. I'll share it with you. Meisty, myself, and Yehuda will have our own brackets. And I honestly think this year, guys, I'm going to have a very difficult time filling out the bracket. It's very difficult to predict. There's no Chiefs. The Eagles are not quite the Eagles this year. So there's no real dominant team on either side on either conference. So it's going to be really tough, but we're going to go ahead and do it right after this.
I think you might notice a little bit of a different voice right now leading you off. That is because Yehuda, the original guest star.
You're not a guest. You're one of us. We have to be switching our whole name because of you.
Don't give away our secrets.
But you knew, the Ravens need one touchdown. The Broncos might score one more field. So if you get one more touchdown,
Yeah, you went 10-9.
You can win 10-9.
I'm going to go with the Commanders as well, just because it's too much of a question mark over there on the center for the
I can't believe you saw that right now. That's asinine. You're crazy.
He's got the full package.
No way. I don't care. No way. I can't even. It's hard to even look at you right now when you say something like that. That's crazy. Okay. And guess what? In basketball, you use a basketball. In football, you use a football.
Okay, guys, so obviously the Ravens are not in the playoffs, and we discussed that right after the Ravens-Steelers game. It was a very interesting podcast we had, some guest stars on. Unfortunately, couldn't make it. But the Ravens are not in the playoffs, and I think it makes the playoffs more interesting for this podcast because I think you guys probably would have picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl if they were in the playoffs. So now, at least we can get an honest opinion of what you guys think is actually going to transpire in the playoffs. A real prediction, so you don't have to be biased by the Ravens. I think it's a wide open slate. I'm very excited for all these games because I love the NFL. I don't know what's going to happen, and this is just a lot of parity.
Yep.
I love the parity in the NFL when you just, no Chiefs, no Burrow, no Lamar, no Mahomes. It's kind of like the only one of the big four is Josh Allen in the playoffs, which is kind of wild. So a lot to be determined here, but of course we're all gonna go through our predictions and see what we have to do. So Meister, are you ready to predict this wild 2025 slate, or you need some time to mentally prepare yourself?
No, I'm ready. Thank you to the therapy session on Sunday night.
I need time to mentally prepare myself. That's why I'm letting you go first, by the way.
No, I'm ready. I'm always ready for this. I mean, I think that it's almost pretty obvious. There's a few question marks, especially in the AFC. It's really a flip in the air. As long as I think the NFC is way more difficult to fill out than the AFC. Almost feels that way. Now, again, I've said it's the playoffs, new season. You have experience. You have a lot of experience versus inexperience, and I think that we're good. But if I don't say if the better team wins, I think that we're. I think it's gonna be. I think this might be, and I wish the Ravens were in because this is. But this will be one of the best playoffs that we're gonna see because of the parity and because of just any team can win any of these games, even the Patriots. They almost did that in the regular season. They did that. They didn't. They almost beat them, right? And
they did beat them. Panthers beat the Rams in the regular season.
They did beat them, right? The Panthers did beat the Rams. That's what it was, right? Correct. So I'm saying anything is possible. And I mean, the 49ers Eagles game. Yeah. Bears Packers. That's as legendary as it gets. And you get 49ers Eagles. That's as legendary as it gets. So I think that you should get legacy games on one side. Even that Panthers Rams game, the Rams just haven't been that good lately. And I know we're going to go through this later in the week, and we're going to just really going over kind of predictions right now. But just the overview of the NFC is incredible, and then the AFC is the same thing. It's the same thing on the AFC, literally. You have the most inexperienced. Saying the Patriots are inexperienced is crazy, but the inexperienced Patriots, it's the inexperienced Patriots now who, Drake May, it's his first time doing this. And then you get the Chargers who have been in the playoffs. You have Jim Harbaugh. He's won national championships. He's been around. He's been in Super Bowls. He's been around for so long. He's one of the greatest coaches of the game, greatest minds. I mean, him versus Vrabel, it's like it's literally manimal versus manimal going at it in the coaching boxes. um,
Him on the sideline with Herbert before the game.
Yeah, correct. No, it is. It's two guys that love to dominate the species of men, and then the same thing to be said about the Bills Jaguars. It's experience versus Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to say inexperienced, but he's inexperienced to the playoffs. I mean, the Bills are playing with. I mean, everyone's like the Bills have to win the Super Bowl this year. They have to. This is our only chance. This is the only chance. Yada yada. I mean, and then just top it up to finish off, and Texans Steelers again. It's the same thing. I mean, you have Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers, and that's literally the two oldest men in the game, the experience of the game, and versus the Texans who have been around, but it's kind of a new team. It's kind of a new situation. I'm all in. I wasn't even all in for the whole season. I'm all in for these playoffs, and the Ravens aren't even in the playoffs.
So good. So let's see. So pull up your bracket. I have
it's filled.
What I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do is here, Meisty. I have your face on top of the bracket. I actually love this setup. I'm gonna put each of our faces on top of our brackets, so you'll be able to see who's picking. And I wish I should send you a picture of what's going on here. This is actually here. I gotta send you guys a picture of this. But anyway, you're gonna be filling out your bracket, and then while you tell me who you want to pick for each game, check this out, guys. Check this out on the WhatsApp chat. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Talking about.
So this is awesome. This is what everyone's gonna see.
Make myself look a little nicer. I gotta look a little nicer for the bracket picture.
All right, here we go. So you are up, Meisty. Your head is now on top of your bracket. So let's go. Let's start with Chargers Patriots right off the top. Who you got for this one?
Right. I so badly want to take the Chargers here, but I'm going to go with the Patriots to top them. Okay. I think the Chargers have a chance for sure. We'll get it to obviously later on.
Okay, then we got Bills Jaguars. What you got for that?
This is such a good game. I'm going to take the Bills.
Yeah, then that would set up a Bills Patriots 3 match as well. So that would be
correct.
That'd be pretty fun.
Well,
not necessarily.
Well, no, that's not true. I have the Texans.
No, yes, it would.
I have the Texans. No, I have the Texans beating the Steelers.
Oh, I'm sorry. It wouldn't. Yeah. You're right. The Chargers would have to win. Yeah. Right, this is going to reseed. I don't know. This bracket doesn't reseed right away. You're 100% correct. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. It reseeds as you click them. I then once you finish it, I then have the Texans beating the Steelers. I really think that defense is good enough to get it done, and I really think that the Steelers just aren't that good. And I mean, the Ravens obviously weren't. I don't know. Screw it.
Okay,
but
but that's
but yeah, the Texans.
That would so your divisional round is looking like Bills against Broncos, very good matchup there, and then Texans against Patriots, which would be that's the 4:30 slot right there. Unless the Panthers somehow win, that's going to be the 4:30 game right there. New England, I don't know. It's a big market, so maybe not. No. So now let's go to the
Texans not getting their.
You want to go to the NFC, or you want
4:30 wild card?
Let's go to the NFC. Let's go to the NFC, then we'll go round by round. So let's go to the NFC. We'll do wild card round, and then we'll do my wild card round, then we'll do Yehuda's wild card round, then we'll do divisional, and so on and so forth. You understand how that works. So let's go to Packers Bears. Packers Bears 7-2, 3 match. This is a 3 match.
Sure. This is the 3 match. Packers Bears. I think this is experience versus inexperience, and I'm going to go with the inexperienced Bears to get it done here. I think they're just a much better team overall, and coaching is and the floor is great. Don't get me wrong, Matt LaFleur, but I think the Bears here get it done.
Okay, that's a tough matchup to predict, I think. And then
tough.
Niners Eagles.
This is the game to watch on what is it? This is
Sunday afternoon. This is Brady and Burkhardt.
Afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, they knew what they were putting out. They didn't want this at Sunday night. They needed 4:30. Everyone's watching the 4:30 game. And, even though it sounds crazy, everyone's watching 4:30. I'm reluctant to say the Eagles. I think that it's going to be one of the best games of the year, and it's going to be the Eagles. And I don't know how it's even going to happen. I don't know how the Eagles plan to win because it doesn't make any sense for the Eagles to win here. But I have the Eagles.
Okay, yeah, it's a tough one to call. And then here we have the Rams Panthers, which most people are going to call the easiest game to predict in this round, obviously.
Yeah,
I'm
the
going
best
with
game
the
of the week.
Panthers.
I knew it.
Give me the Panthers.
I knew it. Oh, I
love the Panthers.
knew that was coming. Good. Okay, go Brash. I like it. Bryce Young pulling through again.
Are you actually picking the Panthers?
Yeah, I'm picking the Panthers. I believe that the Rams have been on a downfall the last 5-6 games. They've been sneaking a couple wins in. They've played some bad teams, but when they played good teams over the last couple of weeks, it has not looked good. The Falcons whooped them. And I mean, not that the Panthers are better than the Falcons per se, but the Panthers won that garbage division. So I'm going to take the Panthers at home in Carolina.
What's the line? 11.5. I think the Rams are favored by. It's
I
rare you
opened
have.
at 10. I saw 10.
It's rare you have a
10,
playoff
10
game with that type of.
No, the
Oh,
road
yeah.
favorite with the road favorite. By the way, the last 3 times, I want to say this, the last 3 times that a team was the under 500 and was underdogs on the road at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the Seahawks and they won. It was the Commanders and they covered. And then it was the Buccaneers and they won or they covered. I don't remember if they won or covered. I know they covered. I believe. I have to look into it.
The
I
Eagles.
could be wrong on that.
Against the Eagles.
The Eagles,
That was
right?
like 2014,
Yeah.
2015.
So, I think
Oh,
that
you're saying the Tom Brady Bucks?
No, correct. The Bucks beat the Eagles in the first round. The Eagles, remember, lost 6 of the last 7 games that year.
They were not. The Bucks weren't 7-9 that year. I think the year that Brady
maybe you're
lost to the Cowboys on Monday Night Football, I think was the.
Perhaps
year
you
that
are
they
correct
were
about that. Now you're right.
the league.
whatever it was, I could be wrong, and it could be one loss. There could be like one loss in this stat, but the teams cover. A lot of these teams that cover at home. Listen, any given Sunday,
Yeah.
the 0-15 team can beat the 15-0 team any given Sunday, and so
Any given Saturday
at home,
now here.
yeah, any given any day.
Any given Saturday or Monday, apparently.
Any day wild card round. You know what I mean? Any given wild card round day.
Soon it's going to be any given Tuesday. All right.
We'll love it.
So
Football every day.
Yehuda, you go.
That would be the
You go first. I got to step out for a minute, so you go first, okay? With the predictions for the game. I'm pulling up your head.
So,
Dude, I'll read them off to you.
Yeah, there you are.
all right.
Yeah.
You got the Chargers and the Patriots. Who you got?
Chargers, Patriots.
Yeah.
I like you. I really, really do want to pick the Chargers. It would be so funny if the Patriots, with their young inexperience, if they pull a 2019 Ravens and just like have a really solid year with a, potential MVP second-year quarterback, and then just lose in their first round that they play. Obviously, the Ravens were in the division round because they had the bye, but Chargers O-line is so bad, and Herbert, it's so bad. I saw something that they're like 31st in pass blocking and 32nd in run blocking. Like, they're just so bad.
But here they are.
And here they are in the playoffs, and Justin Herbert's gonna have a week off from, he gets the just kicked out of him every week, but this time he's coming off of a quote unquote a bye rest week. They're like average offense. Patriots offense much better, but the Chargers have a top 10 defense in points per game. I guess the Patriots also do. They have a better points per game defense, but I don't know, the schedule. It's the meme this year, but the schedule, like the Patriots have had a historically easy schedule. Like I saw in DVOA, they had the 3rd easiest schedule of all time. But
I just want to quote Greg Olson real quick. Up to there, Greg Olson. They're all football. They're all NFL teams. These are all NFL teams.
But it's historically easy. Historically easy, though.
NFL teams. That doesn't matter. These are the best 1% players at football in the game. And so what? You played an easy schedule. They're football player. You played against NFL. You didn't go and play. You're not the SEC playing the MAC-12, whatever. I don't know. You're not whatever it is. So you're not or the Sun Belt versus the SEC. It's not that. This is the NFL. But yes, I agree with you. That cupcake is a cupcake schedule.
Oh, something that I'm seeing
Who
here
you got?
in this article, it says of the Patriots' 14 wins, only 3 came against playoff teams: Panthers, Bills, Ravens. I'm like, oh, gotta rub it in.
Yeah.
The Ravens did not make the playoffs. Oh, brutal. So they only have 2 wins against playoff teams, and I'm like, I really want to pick the Chargers, but I think their O line ends up costing them, and the Patriots D line getting healthy, Milton Williams getting healthy. I think Patriots will probably win in a close one. But yes, again, as we've been discussing, every game, and the parity, as Rocky said, every game you can make an argument for either team.
Yes.
And that's like not historically possible in the past. And like obviously you can always say, oh, either team can win because you have to play the games. But like
the NFL.
you can make a realistic argument for every single team, besides for the Panthers and the Rams. But the Panthers already beat the Rams this year. But they already beat it. I know.
Exactly.
But there's no realistic way that they should beat the Rams. There's no way.
Sam Monson calls the Panthers the most schizophrenic team in the NFL.
Yeah,
actually, I know they beat them. That's the thing when we talk about like if they played 99 out of 100 times, the Rams probably win 100 times, or not. If they played
once,
the Rams, yes, the Rams would win 99 out of 100. That's why I think the Rams the Panthers already got their one. So I mean, but
yeah, we're on the Chargers. Who you got?
Yeah, Chargers Patriots. I'm going to take the
got
Patriots.
The Patriots. But I already clicked it. I knew that's where you were going.
Yeah, I see 3.5. So I would say that the Patriots probably win by a field goal. So the Chargers will cover at 3.5.
Okay, and then let's do our covers. I mean, whatever you're talking about. Let's do our covers in the preview. I guess might as well. The line.
Okay.
Bet against the line.
Okay.
So now we got
just straight up.
Yeah, just straight up like bracket. Because also, if we get any games wrong, the divisional round we'll have to predict again because the games will be incorrect. So we'll do our predictions again in the preview. So then let's go Bills Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jags for the funny because people keep talking about oh, this is Josh Allen's best chance. He doesn't have to face his boogeyman and the other guys, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. But this is going to remind everybody that football is the ultimate team sport, and I'm sure Josh Allen will get many excuses. Oh, his team let him down, all that, as we know. Oh, he doesn't have a good roster, and then Deion Dawkins, his own tackle, will try to tear down James Cook and the rest of the players to prop up Josh Allen. Sure, that'll happen all over again, but we got to remember football is the ultimate team sport, and you can't do everything yourself. The Jaguars have been on fire. Trevor Lawrence playing MVP level. They are number 6 in DVOA total over Buffalo, but they're number 3 in weighted DVOA, meaning like taking into account more of the recent games. So they're playing really well. They have the best run defense in the NFL by yards per game, so they give up the fewest yards per game. The Bills are a rushing team at heart. They have a good quarterback and a really good running back, and not a lot of. They have fine tight ends, no real receiving threats, and I think they have the Jaguars have an opportunistic defense. They get a good amount of turnovers. They're top 3 in turnover differential, and they will be able to run the ball. Also, they have a solid run game against some Bills' weak run defense. So I think, and Jacksonville's not getting any respect. Like, I know the small market thing, it's been a bit all year, but the Bills are favored in Jacksonville. And we know Josh Allen's really good in the wild card round, but he has always played at home. This is his first time on the road wild card weekend. And Jacksonville's I think they're gonna take it as a real chutzpah that they're not favored in their own building at home, and they can play the nobody respects
Duval.
and Duval, and I think it'll be so funny because the take will be, Josh Allen with his quote unquote best chance, even though this Bills team is probably one of the worst teams that he's had for a chance at the Super Bowl. With his quote unquote best chance, and he gets first rounded and loses round one. It would be glorious as a hate watch. It would be awesome. So I'm gonna take the Jags.
Okay, then the next one is Texans Steelers.
Yeah, Texans Steelers. Another one obviously is a little biased, but also mostly yeah,
Texans.
analyzing we're gonna take the Texans because
I knew it.
of their defense. I mean, obviously, like most likely the Ravens would have lost them also, but I think the Ravens would give them a better chance. Obviously, the Texans whooped the Ravens earlier, but that was freaking Cooper Rush starting. And Lamar Jackson usually plays pretty well against this, quote unquote, really top 2 or 3 defense in the NFL. The Texans, he destroyed them on Christmas last year, and obviously it was a different year and different team and different Lamar. Who knows what happens this year? But I think he could give him more of a game than the Steelers will. But Mike Tomlin never loses at home on Monday Night Football, and they happen to get the Monday Night Football game at home. So it's like, I don't know. Does he show up? I think this will be the first time that they're going to lose Monday Night Football in years. But he'll get a little asterisk because it's playoffs, so maybe it won't count. I mean, people will still bring it up, but maybe it won't count against his record or whatever.
It's conflicting Tomlin narratives. On the one hand, he always gets whooped in the wild card round. On the other hand, he always wins at home on Monday Night Football. So which one? Something's got to give.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Houston
So
has a solid kicker. Yeah, Kaimi Fairbairn can actually kick field goals and make under 50 yards.
Shots taken.
Yeah. So I think their offense will do just enough against, Steelers will be able to stop the run ish maybe, but CJ Stroud will make a few throws to Nico Collins, and Higgins are making some plays, but the offense will be able to do just enough. And we're going to go Texans.
Perfect. Now we're going to the NFC side. We got the Bears and the Packers.
I know I want to go Bears because I do think they have the better quarterback. I think this could turn into a sneaky shootout because Packers defense has been seriously struggling without Micah. Like, they're very solid to start, but now they've had injuries. Obviously, they're resting up the past week, not really playing their starters. And it's the third time they're playing this year, and they're very well attuned with each other. Green Bay started favored, being 2 games worse than Chicago. I think also Chicago will take that as a bit of a chutzpah in their own building. I do think that Bears defense is significant weakness, and maybe if the Packers can grind it out and run on them and keep the ball out of the offense's hands, out of the Bears' offense's hand. Although I think they're both going to try to turn it into a run game and shorten the game for each other, to prevent their weaker unit, their defenses, from being on the field as much. But I think the year of the cardiac Bears, they call them, and and they come back in late situations. I think they can do it again, and if they're in a situation where they're down late, this will be a defining playoff moment for Caleb Williams' career as he's beginning his foray into the playoffs and building his legacy and stuff. So I think Bears will win in a close one, and especially if they can get some picks, because Jordan Love can just randomly throw some dumb interceptions. So if they get a pick or two, then they definitely should be able to win this game.
And we got the Niners against the Eagles.
Yeah, this is such an awesome game because this is Niners' strength against the Eagles' strength, and the Niners' weakness versus the Eagles' weakness. So it's great to see the unstoppable force versus the immovable object versus the stoppable force versus the movable object. So it's like, which unit can make enough plays? Because the offense and defense can be basically gridlocked. Eagles defense, Niners offense. So it's like, which quote unquote worst unit, like the Niners defense or Eagles offense, which stinky unit can make a couple more plays, because it's going to be a close field goal game. I just think the talent of the Eagles should be enough on offense. Like, I know their play calling has been really rough and they've had a lot of issues on offense. But they still have, and Saquon Barkley's been limited and much worse than last year, obviously. I mean, an older running back, and he had a bajillion touches last year. But they still have A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. They have good skill position players. The line has regressed, but the Niners just are like out of dudes on defense. Like, they just have so many injuries that even with an awesome offense, I gotta take the Eagles. I think this was the worst possible outcome for the Niners. I mean, obviously, if they would have been the 1 seed, it would have been the best possible outcome. But like, they could have even been the 5 seed if Rams had like lost or sat their starters or something. And then they would have drawn the Panthers. But now that they have to play the Eagles round 1, it just, yeah, they could get first rounded, and just because of the unfortunate draw that they got. And it was possible for the Eagles to be the 2 when the Bears lost. The Eagles could have jumped up, and then the Niners would have been happy to play the Bears, because we just saw them beat them. Obviously, that was in San Francisco. But I think that the Niners would have had a much easier chance against the Bears. But now that they got to go into Philly as a West Coast team playing on the East Coast, obviously it's not a 1 o'clock game, but 4:30 is not too weird. But like, Philly is a tough environment, and they got history, obviously, from that NFC Championship game a couple of years ago. They still have beef because of that. I think I got to take the Eagles in a really close game, but there's going to be like those moments where you're like, what the heck is the Eagles offense doing? Like, there's backup defenders, and you can't move the ball, and it's going to look ugly. It's going to be gross, but the cliche, defense wins championships. I don't know if the Eagles defense will win a championship this year, but definitely will win at least one game. So I'm going to take the Eagles in a close one against the Niners.
And then Rams, Panthers.
And then, this one, taking the Rams. The Panthers got their lucky shot. They could say, oh, nobody believes in us. We got no chance. No one thinks we have a chance. But Devontae's coming back. I think the Rams will whoop them. I don't know if they'll cover 10.5, but they should probably whoop the Panthers.
Okay, fine. So let me do my wild card round, and then we'll move forward with the divisional round. So let's start with Chargers, Patriots. Yeah, I think the Chargers are finally going to do it, guys. Finally break through. Every year I say this is the year the Chargers finally get a playoff win. I mean, even with that horrible offensive line, I don't think the Patriots pass rush. I don't think the Patriots have quite the prolific pass rush to take advantage of it. Justin Herbert's been able to really get the ball out quickly, like extend plays in the pocket. Lad McConkey and Quentin Johnson have definitely stepped up their game this year. So I think the receivers have gotten open quicker and made it possible to succeed even with a bad offensive line. So I'm gonna go out and think that the Harbaugh's not gonna let his brother down. At least one Harbaugh will be in the divisional round this year. So let's go with Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, which is an upset certainly. And then I'm gonna go with the Bills. I do think. Listen, I mean, the narrative is, like you said, Yehuda, that this is the year that Josh Allen has to win. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, yes, there's no Chiefs, there's no Ravens, and there's no Bengals, who have been a kryptonite for the Bills as well. But at the end of the day, it's still a hard sled. Like, you're going up against defenses like the Broncos defense and the Texans pass rush and the Eagles defense. Like, whoever you're going to face on either side, either conference, there are tough matchups here. And the Jaguars have been playing really good football. I mean, like, Trevor Lawrence, sans that Colts game, maybe one of the best quarterbacks in football these last 4 or 5 games of the season. So they're a tough team to beat, but I'm just going to have to rely on Josh Allen to ride me throughout the playoffs here. So I'm going Bills there. And then I'm going to go with the Texans. I mean, this is a little I don't love this because I'm going with all the wild card teams to win, but I mean, I think listen, Aaron Rodgers sitting back there last week against the Ravens with a clean pocket. He can make some throws, but that's not going to happen this week against the Texans. Like Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, that Steelers pass blocking unit has struggled all year against good. I mean, look what happened against the Browns the week before. I mean, against good pass rushing units, they have struggled. So I think it's going to be tough for Rodgers to sit back there and take his time and throw the ball down the field. And Metcalf's back; they can make some big plays. And I think Rodgers, yeah, certainly. And I think Rodgers is locked in. I think the last 5 weeks he's been playing very clean football, making some nice tight window throws, and in rhythm. I think he's been good, but I don't think it'll be good enough to beat the Texans. That's what I'm thinking over there. Okay, so let's go to the Packers, Bears. Guys, I'm inclined. Here's the thing. I'm inclined to pick the Packers because I think the
every
Bears.
Every wildcard team or every away team?
That's the problem. I can't pick every wildcard team. The problem also is the Packers defense looks really bad. Like Caleb Williams is going to have his up and downs throughout the game. He hasn't quite maintained that consistent play throughout 4 quarters this season yet. But he can make his big plays in the fourth quarter. I think with that defense, they can keep him in the game, force their turnovers, and I'll go with the Bears, even though I don't love this pick. But because I do think Jordan Love is, when he's playing at the top of his game, is one of the best quarterbacks in football, personally. But I'm going to go with the Bears here. And then the reason I'm going with the Bears, I'm going to go with the Niners in the next game. I think that the Eagles' offense disappears for a half every single game this season. And that defense, it's a top 5 defense in football, but I don't trust them. I mean, I don't know why Jalen Hurts in the read option and the run game has not been there this year. The Eagles' run blocking has just, talk about a fall from grace, right? We're talking about the best run blocking unit in the league last year. Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson both had their injuries this year, and it showed on the field, like with Barkley getting bottled up in the backfield. So I think the run game is taking a step down. Like, we've seen flashes this year of like Jalen Hurts one-on-one to A.J. Brown, and it works because he's really good, A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. But I think the Niners' offense is really good, and I like what I saw last week against the Seahawks. Like, listen, I always say the Ravens had all their injuries early in the season, and everyone's like, yeah, they're losing all these games because they're injured. It's true, but the Niners have lost Fred Warner and Nick Bosa practically before the season, and 5 of their defensive starters have been out for a good chunk of the season, and they've still found ways to win a lot of games. So I think the Niners will pull it off, Kyle Shanahan and his magic, and the Niners will advance and then play the Seahawks automatically. That would set it up if the Bears would win. That's going to be a fun matchup. Ooh. And then you get the rematch of the Saturday night. So I'm also rooting for what I want to see. So anyway, let's pick the last one. Rams, very simple. I mean, listen, the Panthers, it's true. Upset the Rams. What are the odds of it happening twice? Just don't see that happening. It's like we said before, the most schizophrenic team in the NFL. It's just, that's it. It's not going to happen again. If it does, man, then they're for sure not going to win next week, right? Because they can't win 2 straight games. They haven't done that all season. So
no.
Maybe they could win the first one because they lost last week. Win-loss. No, but it ruined last week. It got ruined last week because they lost to the Seahawks and the Bucks. So
it did?
Yeah, so I don't care about trends anymore with the Panthers.
Yeah, but Rocky, they lost. Rocky, they lost, but they won. They won and lost. They didn't lose last week.
They won. They really won.
They were the winners of the week.
They were.
Yes.
All right, Aaron, you got to go to divisional round. It's your turn. You got 4 games to predict. Whenever you're ready to roll, I'm gonna get your face back on the top. Yeah, make sure your hair. Oh, you're covering your hair. It's fine. It's good. Okay, so you're
round is
this
wild card could also be really good this year.
Wild card round. The thing with wild card round is that a lot of the games tend to not be close for one reason or another, right? You've seen that in the past. Divisional round is like you have sometimes all 4 games are really good down to the wire, and there's 4. There's not like the championship round, which like the conference round, which is only 2. So if one game's bad, half of them are bad games, So it's to a certain extent it's true. The divisional round is really exciting, and also you got the level of competition is just higher, obviously. So got those 1 seeds coming back in. All right, Meisty, here we go. We're starting off with the Bills Broncos. Great. Ooh, I like this matchup a lot. Okay, who you going with?
Bills Broncos. I'm going to take the Broncos.
Ooh.
In Mile High. Finally, the upset. Listen, the Bills are not as good as they have been in past years. I'm about to actually log back into my computer. It literally died as I was plugging it in. So let me jump back here.
We see your face. No, now my face is there. All right, let's go back here.
No, hold on. Hey, I'm back. I'm back here. I'm back. Sorry, I switched from my computer to my
it's all
phone.
good. All good. Smooth transition. Good.
Yeah, so Bills I think eventually have to fall. Their coaching is not great. Everything's not great going on there. So I'm going to take the Broncos there. And then on the other side of that matchup, I am going to take the Houston Texans to beat the New England Patriots in Foxborough. I think that the Texans story is one of the best stories in the game. And I know that sounds absurd that, oh, they have no chance. They have no chance, but that defense is wrecked. They wreck. And at the end of the day, and I say this, I've been saying this the entire Texans run. I've been talking about this, that all of the Texans offense needs to do is score a couple scores. Not turn the ball over, not be stupid, and just a couple scores a game. That defense should be able to hold teams to uh, very little points and be able to just just offense. Do it, CJ Stroud. Throw the ball to Nico Collins. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Just throw the ball. No interceptions. No fumbles. Keep the penalties low. You'll score enough.
Okay, now going back to the. By the way, this is making me very excited for the playoffs because if we have a Texans Brock, man, we have no idea what's going to happen this year. This is absolutely crazy.
That's what I'm saying. You can say anything.
I could see 80% of my predictions being wrong.
Crazy.
It's
Texans Broncos.
Awesome.
Texans Broncos is the craziest possible. Like,
as you're saying it, I'm not even like, oh, how that's a crazy to say that could happen. No, it could happen.
But it's the one seed, and it's the one seed, so anything's possible. It's
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my god, absolutely.
I said it earlier. The NFC is by far. I don't want to say less parity, but almost just like it's more and less parity at the same time because there's so. The teams in the NFC are better, but only one team will win the NFC.
Right.
So it doesn't, it could be any of them, including the Panthers technically, which obviously that's like the one team that's not going to win the NFC. But like, if the Panthers found a way, it's like, I don't know, they found ways to beat the Rams in the season. They found
Put your money where your mouth is.
Put
your money where your mouth is. Panthers, Seahawks. Let's see it.
No. Yeah, it's not happening. Seahawks, that's where I'm taking the Seahawks to win. But
another rematch.
If I told you that the Panthers beat the Rams twice this season, and they beat the Packers, and they beat this team, and that team, and they had a good game against this team and almost beat this team, and I didn't tell you that the record was a losing record and that they stink, you would be like, yeah, it makes sense that the Panthers could win the NFC.
No, but if you watch them play football, then you would not, right. You would not come to that conclusion. Forget about the record and everything.
Again.
Right.
Exactly.
So you got so who you got for Bears Eagles?
This is another matchup for earlier in the season, and I think just like earlier in the season, the Eagles are the most interesting team. They have a good team, and then they have a bad team. When you watch them play, you're like, huh? But then they win the game.
Yeah,
and you're like,
true.
How did they just pull that off? Right? And like, Philly's crazy, but they're not playing in Philly. They're playing in Chicago. Chicago hasn't been in this situation now since 2006 has been like the last time that I guess they've had a couple of years here or there where like they were good, but like this is the best team they've had since that Super Bowl run, and they have a good coach who knows what he's doing in these situations, even though he's inexperienced as a head coach, but he's mental. So I'm gonna actually take the Bears here, rerun it, beat them twice. The Eagles find a way to lose. The Bears find a way to win, I should say, probably a fourth quarter comeback. But we'll even see if the Bears are in this place because I can say the Packers could beat them. But in my prediction here, I am taking the Bears.
Okay, wow, this is going to be interesting. Okay, Yehuda, let's go to the divisional round for you. The first game we're kicking off with is Texans Broncos.
Oh, Feisty's a
championship game. You got it one round early, yeah.
Divisional round. That's so interesting. That's so fun. Anything's possible. This playoff's gonna be so awesome. I'm so excited.
Why don't we do? We should do a watch along for one of these games. One of these games at least. We got to get something going here.
I'm down for potentially Jags Bills hate watch.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Although morning's a little tough because it's 10 a.m. here in LA, so it's a little tougher for me.
Oh,
the Eagles Niners would be a good time probably. But anyway, we'll We'll figure out something.
I'm down for that one also.
Hockey, you don't remember originally, Hockey, the original podcast before this podcast started was Breakfast with Bob.
I
I know
recall.
you got Breakfast with Rocky.
I
Breakfast
recall.
with Rocky. Now
No, we called it.
Action.
We called it the latest morning podcast. The only breakfast podcast that starts at 2 p.m. Right, that was a catch line.
That was the catchline was the latest
Right.
breakfast in America.
Right, something like that.
I want to say I think Houston's going to win this game because I think their defense is better than Denver's right now. Denver obviously has the home field advantage with the bye and the mile highness of it, but their defense has been not playing as well of recent. They are they're still top 5 in DVOA. The Texans are top 2, and both defenses are really good. I could see an awesome 9-6 slugfest right here. That would be would be incredible to watch with the struggling offenses. But I think Houston will have enough of a pass rush to disrupt Bo Nix when he's trying to run around. Obviously, he's very good at avoiding sacks, but their little dink and dunk offense that they try to do can be effective against these pass rushing teams, high pass rush teams. But the Texans have guys who are ready to come up and tackle, and they're physical. They're ready to make these tackles, make these plays on these quick screens and stuff. They have I think the top 3 rush defense, and I think the Texans or the Broncos want to be run first. Broncos have the number 2 run defense. The Texans have number 1 defense. So yeah, this is gonna be an awesome 9-6 ball game, and defense really will win championships here. But I'm gonna go Houston to upset Denver in Denver's first time being a 1 seed. Another callback to the 2019 Ravens, second-year quarterback, finishing as the 1 seed and then losing in the first round that they play in the divisional.
Then we got
I'm gonna go Texans advance.
Oh, you got Texans that one. Then we got Jags Patriots. Your next game.
I'm gonna go Jaguars here. I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna stay hot. They're gonna be very juiced after playing against the Bills. After beating the Bills, the Patriots would probably be favored in this game. So then the Jaguars will be like, "Oh, nobody believes in us still," even though they're on the road. We'll still get to play that card. The Patriots obviously have had historically easy schedule. Oh, as for their historically easy schedule, the 2 teams that had an easier schedule were the 91 Bills, who made the Super Bowl, and the 99 Rams, who also made the Super Bowl, the greatest show on turf. So even if you have by DVOA, even if you have a really, really, really easy schedule, you can still make the Super Bowl. One team even won the Super Bowl. So it's not like it shouldn't be held against you. And you said, like Micey said, oh, they're all NFL teams. But it also helps to play an easy schedule so you get all the wins so that you put yourself in a position like the 2 seed to be able to host a couple playoff games. I'm going to take the Jaguars because I think they'll be able to run. They'll be able to run on the Patriots. Patriots have a top 6 run defense by yardage. The Jaguars, again, as I said, they have the 1 run defense by yardage. So I think they'll have to rely mostly on May, not be able to establish the run game with Henderson and Stevenson. And I know they are top 6 run offense, but what's name has not been too bad. Travis Etienne been solid this year. I think this will be an awesome game because we'll see two of the, obviously Trevor took him a couple more years to get here, but two of the up and comers, the quarterback in the quote unquote new wave of quarterbacks, even though Trevor's kind of like in between Josh Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Mahomes, and then the new wave of like Caleb Bowe and Jaden Daniels and Drake May. So he's kind of in between that, but he's finally playing up to his potential. Liam Cohen, great coach, turned his team around so fast. And this is what I want to see. Nobody wants to see the Patriots back again. I want to see the Jaguars. I want to see them get back for that Miles Jack game. Miles Jack was not down.
They've never made a Super Bowl in franchise history, Jaguars.
Never made a Super Bowl. And they finally get the Patriots back for that loss. Because they probably would have made the Super Bowl with that defense if they had been able to score on that fumble 6 for Miles Jack. But I'm going to go Jaguars over New England in Foxborough Divisional.
Then we got a 3-match: Rams Seahawks. Who you got there?
Yeah, I know this is going to be the game of the year. 3. I'm going to go Seattle. I would have picked the Rams.
How many game of the year is Kenny?
I know every game is just like banger. Oh, incredible!
It was the game of the year. No question.
Yeah,
the Thursday night.
It has a name, a play with a name. The backwards pass. You know that crazy play. Zach Charbonnet backwards pass. Yeah, so they're calling it the Zachwards pass. It was a little lucky because the Rams were dominating their defense. Seattle #1 defense before they kind of just stopped, and Seattle got a punt return for a touchdown. They got lucky with the Zachwards pass. Like they got a lot lucky, but they also played their way back into it. I'm still terrified of the potential for Darnold to go pumpkin mode, as he can, but he didn't play too bad against the Niners in the game of the year at that point in San Francisco. And like, I think obviously they only scored 13 points, and it was mostly on the defense for shutting down the Niners, but they had some missed field goals, and Jason Myers is usually a very good kicker. And Darnold was fine. He didn't poop all over himself as he did last year. So he slightly redeemed himself, I would say, and they earned that 1 seed. So I'm always scared of that. That is my fear, especially if I was a Seahawks fan. I'd be terrified of that happening for Darnold. But I think Mike McDonald really going to get this team ready. And very, very fun but sad stat that I saw was every team that finishes. There have been like 4 or 5 teams that have finished as the 1 seed or as the #1 DVOA team and the #1 team in DVOA by defense. So they have the #1 defense and they're the #1 overall. And every single team so far has won the Super Bowl that did that, except for the 2023 Ravens. So that was very sad. But that's why it's a cool but sad stat. And the Seattle Seahawks this year, with the defensive coordinator from the Ravens 2023, but now as their head coach, Mike McDonald, they finished as the #1 team in DVOA total and the #1 DVOA defense. So that's why that small sample size, every single other team besides the 2023 Ravens has won the Super Bowl. So I am just going to, chalk that up to the Ravens being chokers, unfortunately, at this point. But the Seattle Seahawks, I think, will be able to beat the Rams. Like they said, the offense wins games, defense wins championships, and Seattle's going to win in a thriller. As long as Sam Darnold doesn't just go full pumpkin, but that totally could happen. Would not put it past him to do that, and Stafford to be able to dice him up, because Stafford did play really well against this really good defense. But they'll be rocking. They'll be in Seattle. It's going to be freaking crazy environment. The 1 seed, they're going to have legit Super Bowl aspirations, and I think Seattle will be able to get it done in what will be one of the games of the year of the week, because every game of this weekend will be game of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Okay, what about Bears-Eagles to top it off?
Yeah, so another rematch, but I'm going to take the Eagles because of the defense, even though it's going to be in Chicago. I'm going to go trust the Eagles offense with their skill position guys, even though they've looked horrible multiple games not completing a pass, as you said, Rocky, where their offense just decides to not show up anymore. And the joke was that Nick Sirianni has invented the prevent offense, and
That's a good one.
and yeah, he's revolutionary because no one's ever done that before, but now he has the prevent offense. The Eagles' defense is just um, they're only top 7 DVOA, but like they've been playing so well lately. Offense is really struggling, but I gotta trust again that AJ Brown can make a couple of plays on their corner. I know they have good corners and they have good opportunistic corners, but it literally everybody says you win the turnover battle, you win the game, and like it's a little cliche, but I think it has to come down to that for the Bears because they rely so much on the turnovers because their defense is just not good. But eventually that turnover luck runs out. I think obviously you could say it's some skill that they're forcing all these turnovers, but it's sometimes it can be a little lucky. And I think after a big like tough emotional win, close game the week prior versus the Packers, I don't think they'll be able to beat the Eagles again, especially because they beat the Eagles with their defense. When their defense like showed up and really played very stoutly against the Eagles offense. But I just think it's the Eagles offense struggling, and I think somehow this right now I'm not happy about any of this. They could for sure lose round 1, but I have the Eagles kind of backwards, tripping into a into an NFC Championship game appearance.
Okay, so let me go through the divisional games. The first game I have is actually 1 versus 7. Interesting. I don't know if that ever happened since the 7 seed's been introduced. 1-7. Broncos Chargers. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. Listen, I do. This is where I think the Chargers offensive line is going to come to haunt them. Like I just don't see how you're able to overcome the Broncos. Again, vulnerabilities like you said, Yehuda. Certainly they've shown those the last few weeks, but I do think Bo Nix, like when you need him to make plays, if you need him to get in a shootout, he's capable of it. Although I'm not super confident in it, but I think he's capable of it. So even if the Chargers can score, 17, 20, 23 points, which I think they're capable of doing against a good defense. They did against the Texans. I think that they'll do enough to win the game. And then for Bills Texans, I think that's a great game. I mean, remember, this is a rematch of the Thursday night. This would potentially be a rematch of the Thursday night game, in which no team has given Josh Allen bigger problems than that game Thursday night, where he got sacked 8 times. I mean, it's a guy in Josh Allen who's got sacked like 20 times the entire season last year. So just in that one game, they gave him like a third of his sack total from last year. So they're going to give him trouble, but I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm riding Josh Allen Superman to the end of the playoffs. Like eventually they'll discover that they literally drafted Keon Coleman to throw the ball down the field to him, even though they haven't done it all season. It's the playoffs. They'll discover these things, Like this is when you pull your tricks out of your hat. So I'm going with the Bills there. And then on the NFC side of things, this is a great game. I'm pumped for this if this happens again. Niners Seahawks, because I think we were robbed of a good game. It was such a sluggish game, and McCaffrey, the pass behind, like McCaffrey drops the pass and goes interception. Like, come on, it's just a freak thing. That's not going to happen again. So I'm looking forward to this game again. I'm going with the Niners. I'll explain again why I'm going to do this after the entire bracket. But you said it, Yehuda. Sam Darnold implosion. Do I see Sam Darnold making the Super Bowl? No. I just don't. So, I think the Niners defense showed some vulnerabilities in that offense. Like when the run game doesn't get going for the Seahawks, it's kind of one of those cliches. But Sam Darnold is kind of not really one of the. Listen, down the stretch of the season, these last 7 games of the season, he hasn't really been playing good football. Like you haven't seen too many clean games from him. You've seen the big interceptions, even against the Rams. He had a pretty good game, but also threw the game away twice, right? Like. That interception to the defensive lineman in the red zone, they were down by 16. You throw an interception at the 10-yard line, you should lose the game. He got bailed out from a punt return and from a 2-point conversion, and then did respond after that. True, but I do think his team bailed him out in that game. I don't think he's going to get so lucky again here. And then I think it's going to be I'm going to go with the Rams over the Bears. I think Rams Niners. That's a great. I mean. I just want to see the NFC West in the conference championship. That's really what I'm looking for. I think any of those 3 teams are my 3 favorites personally. Those are the 3 teams I'm giving the best chance in the NFC. But Rams, Niners. Rams are the most complete team in football in my opinion. They're the only team that I would point to right now and say I have confidence in both sides of the ball for them. So I'm gonna go with the Rams. Rams Niners. Okay, Meisty, here we go. Conference championship. I got 10 minutes, so let's take us home. Conference championship round for go to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 60, right? Super Bowl 60 this year on the line. So who you got? Texans, Broncos.
I'm gonna have to stick with the 1 seed here and go with the Broncos. On the AFC side, again, I think it's hard to play through Miles High. Good call, Rocky. Good sound. I hear your sounds here. It's hard to play in the AFC. I mean, it's hard to play in Mile High. It's easy to play in the AFC this year. It's hard to always come to Miles High and beat them. I think it's very ugly because Sean Payton, who's been he was a good coach, great coach at one point, and then he went to Russell Wilson, we don't know. He's not really good. And then it's now here's Bohem and Bohemoth, and they're playing very good again. And so nothing really makes sense at all when it comes to the Broncos. But I do think the Broncos found a way to win.
Okay,
the other side, the NFC.
Yeah, Bears, Seahawks. Yeah, 1 versus 2.
Got the Bears Seahawks here, and the cliche, and I hate this. I hate going 1v1. 1 seed versus 1 seed. I say the same thing when it comes to March Madness, which we're looking forward to. We're hopefully going to be still rocking and rolling by March Madness, and we'll be able to talk then as well. But I really, really think the Seahawks are going to win this game. And I'm going to pick the Seahawks. But nothing would make me happier as a human being than to see the Bears, all right, playing the Broncos in the Super Bowl. I would be very, very – I'm going to take Seattle here, but I would be a very happy human because nothing would make me happier after that, the Super Bowl game, and the Broncos win the Super Bowl. And the Bears are back to just being it's just the Bears implosion. It's going to happen on a triple doink, off one goalpost, off the other, off the upright, and out. And the Super Bowl is going to lose, and it's going to be fantastic, and the world will suffer as the Bears lose. But actually, and just to say, I don't know if you guys watched last night the FSC beat I don't know the minor league college football championship game last night. Northern Illinois versus they're saying Montana State or something.
Minor league.
It was 3 blocked field goals in that game on one team. Northern Illinois had the ball blocked. Listen, they went to overtime. Northern Illinois had the ball blocked 3 times. And in overtime, to kick the extra point, to go up 7 points, blocked extra point in overtime. Then the guy, as he's getting sacked, Montana State threw a deep bomb, touchdown. The whole game was insane. The whole game made no sense. Yeah, watch that. I can tell you right now. Every time, a block field goal puts him at and then the guy returns to 30. The first play of the next drive, the ball got snapped for the quarterback's head. So lost 25 yards.
Sounds like a minor league college game.
That's why I called it minor league college. It was so funny. And the crowd, both crowds, it was electric. One of the most electric games I've ever watched. I was deep in. So at the end of the day, I have the Broncos playing the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And I'd be very happy to be wrong, but that is my official pick.
All right, Yehuda, let's go. We got Texans, Jaguars. Who are you going with to go to Super Bowl 60? What for? Either of those teams would be a first-time appearance for them.
Wow. Amazing. I think divisional round, the AFC South, in the AFC Championship game, we got our 12 people watching with the NFL
How great would that be?
An AFC South team to go to the Super Bowl. But I'm going to take the Jaguars. I trust their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, and the Texans have a great defense. Obviously, they're going to make it hard. But I believe they had
in the Super Bowl.
They're up. I know they're up 20, 25 on them. They're up by a lot, and then they just collapsed. against the Texans.
Yeah, they
and
were up
Davis
by.
Mills.
They lost officially by
It
8,
was.
kind of like what happened to the Texans last week. But it was a last second. Remember last
Yeah,
second
they're up 29-10
fumble
with one
return.
quarter left, and then
Yes, they lost
yeah, and
30-29 basically, but it said 37. So
yeah, exactly. So you're right. It was just like the pitchy woo woo
exactly.
last second sack, but I think the Jaguars are the better team, and they're hot right now. Could I see that again? Like the Eagles, I think the Eagles go NFC Championship. Could I see the Jaguars losing round one to the Bills? Yes. And now I'm picking them to go all the way to the Super Bowl. So, anything is possible this year with the playoffs. But I'm
Agreed.
going to take the Jaguars in round three. And I'm glad, like, all of us were getting some big divisional matchup, either in divisional round or AFC or championship round. We're getting some big, huge divisional games. And I just love that added extra intensity, extra rivalry. So I'm going to go Jaguars here, make their first ever Super Bowl in franchise history.
Then you got Eagles Seahawks.
Yeah, and then I got to go again. This is a defense wins championship. They both have good defense, but I'm gonna go Seahawks because I like their coach more. I still think Jalen Hurts is probably a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Definitely struggled this year, but he is a Super Bowl MVP and he has the experience here. Again, always possible to see a Sam Darnold implosion, as Rocky said. But I'm going to trust the Seahawks in their own building with that home field advantage because the Eagles had home field last year. But I'm gonna take the Seahawks and their awesome wonderkid coach that I'm just rooting vicariously through him, pretending that he's coaching the Ravens right now. He's coaching a bird team. He's the head coach of a bird team. It's the Ravens.
Same
But
thing.
no, it is the Seattle Seahawks. But yeah, this is the Super Bowl I want. Jags Seahawks. Could it be? Could the Jags be eliminated round one? Yes, I could. I could see an argument for the Bills round one. Could Seattle get eliminated round one if they have to play the Niners or the Rams first round in their divisional round game? Yes, but I'm gonna bank on that defense showing up and carrying them to the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold doing just enough. Remember, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl
With the
an
Bucks,
amazing defense.
2002, yeah.
Obviously, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Obviously, those are like legendary defense.
Jim McMahon.
But Seattle, Jim McMahon in the Super Bowl. So it's possible Seattle could cement themselves as a legendary defense if they can go all the way. But I think they'll prove that football is a team sport. The offense will do just enough, and they still have JSN. JSN's a really, really good, solid run game. I think Seattle will win a tough one. Both of these games, if we get Jags, Texans, and Seahawks, Eagles, we're going to get some geschmack 13-10, 16-13 football in the AFC Championship.
But it'll be good 13-10 football, you know what I'm saying?
It really will be. It really will be. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. We got for me, I got Bills, Broncos. I'm going with the Bills to make the Super Bowl. It's the cliche because a lot of people are like, well, Josh Allen's got to do it this year. And I think he will.
Yeah.
Like, I could see Josh Allen in the Super Bowl so long as Mahomes is not there. I've been envisioning that for years. And I don't see Josh Allen going his entire career without at least making a Super Bowl. It's just, I don't know. Seems unlikely. And again, the Broncos have their vulnerabilities on defense. I think they'll give up a few big plays in this game. I think they'll have a hard time getting Josh Allen to the ground, even if they're able to chase him around in the pocket. We know the Josh Allen magic of improvising and extending plays, and that's kind of why they're able to overcome some of the lack of receiver talent they have because, when you extend the play long enough, someone's going to get open. So I'm going with the Bills to go to the Super Bowl. And on the other side, I'm going to go with the Niners to go to the Super Bowl, despite all their injuries, to beat the Rams.
Wow.
Despite I have a 6-6, despite all their injuries.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I have to admit, do I really think this is going to happen? But I predicted Bills over Niners before the season started.
Oh, Rocky's sticking with his guns.
So I have to stick with my convictions here because they're both in the playoffs, and that itself means it can happen. And they're both pretty good teams. It's not like it's crazy. I mean, for any of these two combinations to happen would be unpredictable. But I think Brock Purdy and his pocket awareness has gotten to the point where he can overcome a lot of defensive, let's call it, a lot of problems on defense for the Niners. And I think that the offense is that good. Used to be you had Debo and you had And you kind of relied on Debo as in the backfield and on that. You had your two versatile players. You had Debo and you had Ayuk. Ayuk was at one point one of the best receivers in football, maybe for a year or two there. And then you had Debo, who was that versatile player. You had McCaffrey's also a very versatile player. You don't have that anymore, but somehow they're able to. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is just an absolute genius. Get Jawan Jennings involved. Get Kittle involved in the middle of the field. McCaffrey has just gotten incredible volume this year. Not overly efficient, but incredible volume this year. So you can rely on your playmakers, and I think you could ride them to the Super Bowl. So that's what I'm going with. I'm going Bills Niners in the Super Bowl, Micey. Take us home. Who you got winning Super Bowl 60?
I have
Broncos Seahawks.
Broncos Seahawks. This is a rematch. We got a rematch. Oh my, we really do got a rematch here. Broncos Seahawks. Even though we said that, it's a crazy rematch. Both 1 seeds, which is something I'm very anti, and I hope I'm wrong because I don't like seeing both 2 1 seeds in the championship game. I am going to take.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to take Ride the Bronco all the way to the Super Bowl. The Denver Broncos have been they find ways to win games. In the second half, they sneakily have one of the better defenses in the league, even though they've had some ugly games as a defense. But they get a lot of sacks, they put a lot of pressure, and I think what's going to happen is, if this is the matchup, that they will find a lot of ways to pressure Sam Darnold, and the pumpkin will finally show up. And I think that Bo Nix and that offense will score. And I think just the opposite of what happened the first time these two teams met each other in the Super Bowl. This will be just as ugly, if not uglier. And we'll all be like, well, at least we get Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl, halftime show. Bad Bunny. So,
okay.
And we'll be watching more for the commercials and the halftime show than for the actual football game.
Okay, on to Yehuda. Your Super Bowl matchup is Seahawks-Jaguars. Who you got?
Yeah, 2013 was very rough. That was one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever seen, and obviously we remember the first snap being a safety, and it was like, that's a bad sign. And that game was slightly more interesting because they had the number 1 defense against the number 1 offense, so it was a lot more strength on strength.
Meisty and I watched that game together. We were playing golf by the second quarter. You remember that? We were literally.
No, Rocky, that was Rams Patriots. The Rams Patriots Super Bowl we watched.
Oh, that's correct. Because nobody scored. That's right. We literally took a pillow. We had a makeshift golf game. Took a bouncy ball and a pillow. Played golf.
Yeah, it was bad. I was actually watching this game with a Broncos fan, and a very close friend of ours was a Seahawks fan. And from the first snap, literally probably almost every single snap, there was a phone call. That was the entire game, the poor guy. And then he stopped answering his phone call, so obviously he started calling me, and I'm like, I'm going to answer, of course.
Of course.
It's on speaker. And it was very, very funny. The poor guy I think he just left eventually. I think by halftime.
Couldn't take the abuse.
He saw the halftime show and he was like, this was also trash. I'm out.
Man.
They were out pretty quick.
So one thing I'll say, Micey, you said you don't like picking ones, and like March Madness, you don't like picking one. Last year, I was just thinking about March Madness, every single 1 seed represented each little thing. So it is possible.
And it was brutal.
It's brutal. Chalk is boring as heck, but sometimes there's a reason it's chalk. But yes, it was rough. But I am gonna go with chalk also because I'm taking the Seahawks over the Jags. I think this would be an awesome, fun Super Bowl. Not super popular with the quote unquote casual fans, and obviously everyone's still watching the Super Bowl. But this would be the one time I truly believe there would be a decline in viewership of the Super Bowl, and the NFL would try to pretend, say the streaming something, whatever, so it's actually the numbers are up. But people don't know the Jaguars and the Seahawks, but we will enjoy the Super Bowl. I think this will be very fun and good redemption story for Sam Darnold, as somebody who literally last year he failed as the one, or had a chance to be the 1 seed, failed and then got eliminated first round. He failed as a Jets quarterback. He then had to grind his teeth, as they say, working with Shanahan in San Francisco, working in Carolina, all that stuff. And he finally worked his way back to a team that like people thought was going to be a good team, solid, maybe playoff team, but they won. They are the 1 seed and have a chance to win the Super Bowl. I think their defense will overwhelm the Jaguars, and I could see the Jags winning, and like Trevor Lawrence then announces himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the league and finally lives up to like when he was first overall pick. But Seahawks defense wins championship. Their defense is better than the Jaguars defense, even though the Jaguars defense is also very solid. But again, I'm betting on a no Sam Darnold implosion. And honestly, even if we do get a Sam Darnold implosion, he threw 4 picks against the Rams the first time the Seahawks.
They can overcome it. They can overcome it. They were 1 60-yard field goal away from winning, and obviously it was a 60-yarder, so it didn't really have a chance. But like they had a chance, and I think he will be good enough throughout the playoffs. And then he's been playing worse the second half of the season, but at the beginning of the season you saw flashes. And I think he will be potentially one of those guys, though, that you still look at like, Jim McMahon won a Super Bowl, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl, Trent Dilfer and Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl. But it is a team game. I keep talking about the quarterback, but it's a team game. It's a team sport. Mike McDonald's an awesome coach. And it's just amazing to see if we could get this potential second-year coach winning a Super Bowl versus a new first-year head coach with the Jaguars. Like, if the Jaguars lose the Super Bowl, obviously it sucks and it's gutting and everything, but like, first-year head coach to make a Super Bowl, like it's amazing progress. They would have turned it around, and they have very, very bright future. But I'm going to go Seattle and the one that got away, Mike McDonald, and going to live vicariously through him as a Ravens fan. Yeah, the Ravens fans would be forever bugging out if that happened. I mean, I personally am rooting for the guy, but I think that be a lot of upset Ravens fans for that. So I would love to see a Seahawks Jaguars Super Bowl. That for me, that's entertaining. I'm a football fan, so I like that. But I agree with the ratings wouldn't be as good. But for my Super Bowl, I think the ratings would be fantastic. I got Bills Niners. I think this is a ratings heaven right there. Like, yes, there's no Patrick Mahomes. Yes, there are no Eagles, but Josh Allen in the Super Bowl itself, the Niners are a big market. They've won 5 Super Bowls already. They have a chance to tie the lead league in Super Bowls. And Josh Allen's got a chance to get his first ring. And the Bills, after 4 straight Super Bowl losses, the narratives are going to go wild in this one if this happens. So I'm hoping it does. I think it'll be fun. And I'm going to go with the Bills. I think Josh Allen's going to hoist his first Lombardi. Finally, gets over the hump. It's almost gotten to the point where the narrative is that he's not going to win because the narrative is he's going to win, right? Everyone's like, everyone thinks he's going to win because Mahomes is not there, so he won't win. But I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna ride Josh Allen, Superman. At the end of the day, yes, defense wins championships, but if you have a really good quarterback on your side, he can overcome almost anything. So Josh Allen is the best player on the field. Will be the best player on the field no matter who he plays throughout the playoffs. Everyone will agree on that. So I'm riding Josh Allen basically because the defense has its injuries and the run defense has really not been great. Very vulnerable for the Bills. And like Shakir is your number 1 receiver, not liking that. Coleman is your only outside option. But again, if Dalton Kincaid is healthy, I think he makes a tremendous difference in this passing game, and I do think they can create some explosive plays, even in rhythm. And I think the Bills will win Super Bowl 60. So we all got very different results here, which is what part of the fun of it. I mean, what's going to happen? I don't know. Listen, guys, this is going to be very fun. Now that we're going through the brackets, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going to happen? I don't know. I mean, I could get all these picks wrong. Who in the world knows? So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I think no Ravens kind of makes it. You can just sit back and watch and see what happens. Be an observer. So you don't have to be like, I want this team to win because they'll play the Ravens. Like whatever happens. So you could either root for John's brother or you could root for Mike McDonald if you want a Ravens connection there. So. One or the other. Maybe Chargers, Seahawks. We'll see about that. But anyway, guys. So, So we'll wrap it up there. That's the playoff bracket prediction. And then we will, of course, later this week have our full preview, breaking down all the games just in wildcard weekend. And we'll go from there, guys. So take care and enjoy the rest of your week.